All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. We're talking about the Green Bay Packers in today's video. Now, they're currently in their bye week, but they are sitting here at 6-3. They're one of the three teams in the NFL to rank in the top 10 in both offensive and defensive EPA per play, with the Detroit Lions and the Buffalo Bills. And obviously, last Sunday afternoon, we took on the Detroit Lions. And even though the final score was 24-14, the gap was evident between the two teams. It felt like, from a Packers standpoint at least, things need to be cleaned up. And we can have these silly, stupid errors against teams like the Jacksonville Jaguars, but when you're talking divisional round of the playoffs, when we're talking about a divisional opponent, one of the best teams in the NFL, in the Detroit Lions, if not the best team, and you start thinking about conference championships, ultimately down the road Super Bowl, but even just getting to the playoffs, playing in a playoff game, you can't have these stupid, silly errors. There were 6 total drops. There were 10 penalties, which tied a season high, 3 botched snaps, Jordan Love's horrific pick 6 that shouldn't have happened, and it started actually right out of the gate. Right out of the gate, Keyshawn Nixon returned the opening kickoff to the 40-yard line, but he put his right hand in the cornerback's face, in his face mask on the sideline after the play, and it obviously earned a 15-yard unnecessary roughness penalty. That stuff has to get cleaned up, and a lot of that stuff, Matt LaFleur said, he puts on him, like the blame on him, because he put the team or the players in positions to do that. So it starts with the coaching, comes down to the players, not having these stupid penalties. It's all got to be cleaned up, not just the Lions game. The whole season, first half of the season's got to be cleaned up, and I fully anticipate they will. So let's talk about it. Shout out to BetUS for sponsoring this. More on that in a minute, but hit that like button, hit that sub button for daily NFL content. I'm a diehard cheesehead, so we post a ton of Packers videos on this channel. If we could try and get this one to 100 likes, folks, that would be the absolute world to me. So one big nagging issue for the Green Bay Packers is penalties. We are currently 27th in the NFL with 67 total penalties. Once again, the Green Bay Packers are 6-3, and for a 6-3 team to have 67 penalties through 9 games is unacceptable. They have the second most pre-snap penalties in the NFL with 30. Jordan Love has now thrown an interception in every game he's played this season. Keep in mind, last year at the end of the season, in the second half, Jordan Love looked like an MVP. Actually, he looked like the MVP, threw 18 touchdown passes and only 1 interception in the final 8 regular season games last year for Green Bay. So we want that second half Jordan Love. Now, granted, the difference was 1 year ago we were like 3-6, and this year we're 6-3. It's a much better team, and it's not as dire as the stats may seem, but you watch these games, and I'm sitting here and I'm watching Keyshawn Nixon, have that 15-yard unnecessary roughness penalty. I'm thinking to myself, all right, we're probably going to lose this game. We're probably going to lose this game. You can't be sloppy like that when you're taking on some of the best teams in the National Football League. Jordan Love this season and Bailey Zappi last year are tied for the worst interception per attempt ratio by any quarterback in the NFL in the past 5 seasons at 4.2%. But me personally, I know Jordan missed 2 games. I have no concerns with Jordan Love figuring it out in the next half of the season. All right, guys, before we get back into this video here, once again, shout out to BetUS for sponsoring it. I know the Green Bay Packers are coming off a loss to the Detroit Lions 1 week ago, so things aren't looking great to win the NFC North, but I did want to bring to your attention over on BetUS, the Green Bay Packers to win the NFC North are sitting here at plus 850 if you're feeling ballsy. But it doesn't end just there. BetUS is offering 150% bonus on your first deposit and also 125% bonus on your next 2, all with the code YouTube150. Let me know if the Packers can win this division down below, but let's get back to the video. Now, another thing that's driving me crazy is Josh Jacobs. And it's not because of Josh Jacobs producing, because Josh Jacobs over the last 2 weeks, 2nd in the league in rushing yards, 2nd in the league yards after contact, 2nd in the league in first downs, tied for 4th with 10 missed tackles forced, 4th in rushing grade at 77.9. But that Lions game is a really good example. 13 carries. He had 13 total carries and 95 total yards, 37-yard run. He averaged 7.3 yards per carry, and it's like, you watch that game, it's raining, people are slipping, people are sliding, ball security is a big thing. You don't want to be throwing interceptions. We already dealt with that pick 6. So I would just feed Josh Jacobs the damn football on the season, 762 rushing yards, 3 total touchdowns. But it's like this. So a good example would be, all right, week 1, we took on Philadelphia. Josh Jacobs ran 16 times for 84 yards, all right? Averaged 5.3 yards per carry, all right? Something's clearly working. The next week against Indianapolis, they run him 32 times for 151 yards. And then the next game against Tennessee, 14 carries. The game after that against Minnesota, yeah, that game got out of hand really quickly, but 9 carries. So that's my point. And it just keeps happening. Like 2 weeks ago against Jacksonville, Josh Jacobs ran the ball 25 times. And then last week, 13. And obviously, game script and elements are in play here. And I'm not trying to run Josh Jacobs 25 times a game so he can be healthy for the entire season, but it's just I want to see more Josh Jacobs because it's clearly something that has worked. Emmanuel Wilson as well, 4 carries for 28 yards last week and a touchdown on the season. Emmanuel Wilson, 55 carries for 254 rushing yards. I would just like to see more ground and pound than because it's not like the Packers are 6-3. It's not like we're playing to win in the second half. It's not like we're down 20 to 6 after the end of each half. We're in these games. We're leading most of these games. And I just don't get the hesitation with running Josh Jacobs a little bit more consistently. Now, one bright spot with the Green Bay Packers and one reason you should feel super good about this team is the defense. All right, the defense last year, 23rd in the league in defensive expected points added. They're currently 8th in that statistic this season. And even just using that Lions game as an example, they just held the best offense in the NFL. If the season ended today, the Detroit Lions points per game, it's like 32.9, 32.3, something like that. It would be the 16th best offensive season of all time. Or I think maybe it's since 2000. Point is, they have a historical type of offense going on right now, and they've averaged like almost 40 points per game in the last 6 games in their 6-game winning streak. Well, you just held the Detroit Lions to only 24 points. I think that would qualify to me as a good day. And keep in mind, Jordan Love's erratic pick 6. If that didn't happen, I'm not trying to play what ifs, but in theory, this football game would be 17-14, and probably not a different outcome because of all the penalties and all these stupid issues. But you get the point here. 24 points against the best offense in the NFL, to me, is a good defensive day. The Green Bay Packers also happen to lead the NFL in takeaways through 9 weeks with 19. Xavier McKinney, brand new addition in the free agency period, tied for first in the NFL with 6 interceptions. There's literally been 3 games where he has not had an interception, 6 where he has. I mean, it's playing lights out. Just traded away Preston Smith yesterday or a couple of days ago as well. Not too much comments on that, but thank you guys for watching. That's all we got time for today. Hit that like button, hit that sub button for daily NFL content. But guys, 9 weeks into the year, halfway through the season, give me a team grade rating for the Green Bay Packers down below. And also, if you feel so inclined, throw in your predicted final season record for this Green Bay Packers team. Thank you guys for watching. Have a great rest of your weekend. We'll see you soon. Peace.